Five Out Basketball, five segments, five takes. This is the podcast for NBA conversations. This is Five Out Basketball, and it starts in 3, 2, 1.
And welcome to the 7th edition of the 5 Out Podcast. I am Joey LeMaster, joined by Everton Levy. We're at the Big 7, and my setup absolutely sucks. If you can't tell, I'm back home, and I don't have a desk, so I'm literally in the closet. Don't make a funny joke out of that. You're not slick. It's dumb. But Everton, how are the vibes?
Pretty good, man. This is probably the longest week I've had since we've been back at school.
Yeah.
But this is what I look forward to. Tell you this all the time, man. This Friday, this is what I'm looking forward to, bro. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. Let's just, do our thing, man.
Yeah, it's literally like when you get through the crappy week, this is our icing on the cake to give us at least something a little good. Can't complain.
Exactly.
I'm excited. We
Me
got fun
too.
segments today. And just before we get into the fun, some bad news for everybody who loves me so much. I won't be here next week. Sorry to break it to you guys. I will be in St. Louis for the Missouri Valley Conference basketball tournament. Very excited to be on commentary for that. Biggest opportunity in my life at the moment, and I won't be able to record in St. Louis. So Everton is going to run solo next week. You guys love Everton more than me. We've seen the TikTok views. I'm not mad. I'm happy you guys love him because Everton's great. But he's gonna run solo next week, so it'll be the Everton show. Everton, are you ready for the solo? I know you like the
Um,
two man.
I prefer when it's, me and you here so we can, it's easier to discuss things. But I can yap. I'm a very good yapper when it comes to sports. So I think I could hold it down at least yeah, I feel like I could hold it down, try my best. But it's going to be a very interesting episode without my right-hand man right here, Joey LeMaster, bro.
Very, very sorry for everybody and Everton. But here's what I'm not sorry about. Something we realized in the past 6 episodes of the 5 Out podcast. Me and Everton, we tend to agree a lot. We're
Yeah,
gonna try and stop that in this first segment because we each have 3 hot takes, and I'm coming in hot. I'm assuming Everton's coming in hot. We're gonna get some
yeah,
controversy going, and I'm excited because people should have hot takes. They shouldn't just listen to what the media tells them all the time. Like you should be able to form your
exactly.
own opinion.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I feel like people just kind of see what they see and just roll with it instead of like building their own opinions on it. And even if your opinion's wrong, it's your opinion. I can respect
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Everton, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You seem really amped for it. I'm gonna let you go
Uh,
first.
I am excited, and this first one, it's basketball related. It's not just NBA related. And this
Mm.
one, this one goes out for my girls out there, the one that don't get
Mm.
their sport respected.
Okay.
The women's college basketball has so many more stars than the men's college basketball this season, and it's not even funny. And I think it's time they get their flowers for that. And I'm Caitlin Clark's obviously the biggest in basketball in the moment. I'm not
Yeah.
even gonna include her. Like we know how great she is, but they got Juju Watkins of USC, they got Cameron Brink of Stanford, they got Paige Buckers of UConn, and they got Angel Reese of LSU. It's star galore going on in women's basketball. Like the WNBA is going to be like star-studded in the next couple of years. And then you look at the guys, Zach Edey, RJ Davis, Hunter Dickinson. Like there is no or with the guys. So I want to start
Mm.
off showing some love to the girls because they're on fire right now. And I don't think I'm more excited for the women's March Madness, but this is easily the most hyped I've ever been because there's stars all over the place, which is I feel like something we've never seen before.
Yeah, honestly, that's a pretty good take. Honestly, like when you look at who people probably know more, they might say they know some of these women players more than they know some of the men's players. And obviously, the biggest one being Caitlin Clark. I mean, she's one of the biggest names in basketball, just period, right
You could say
now.
sports right now. Like,
Exactly. But um, when you look at, Paige, who coming in was probably more hyped than Caitlin was, and
mm,
obviously dealt with some injuries, but she's still pretty well hot. She's my favorite women's basketball player.
mm.
Juju, she's picking up a lot of steam.
And dude, her stat
Um,
lines are my favorite. Like, I'll see her shoot like 12 of 30. I'm like, oh my God, the real hoops are back.
Real hoops where you just chuck. She's a chuck, 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 and I love it.
I love it.
Um, Angel Reese. I mean, doesn't she have the highest NIL money,
She
right?
does. Yeah, she getting
Exactly.
paid.
Getting paid, right?
Mm.
So she's another one. What's her name? Camila Cardoza.
I forgot
She's
about
another
her.
one. Or Haley Van Wow, I'm tweaking. You know what I'm talking about? Haley Van Lith. Is that how you say
Yeah,
her
it's
name?
lit.
Lith, right? Haley Van Lith, another one. Like, there's so many women basketball player stars who, like, if you see them, you're like, oh, I know her, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas with men's, like, I feel like people know Rob because
Uh-huh.
he's been doing his thing, deep, very deep bag.
Yeah, my favorite.
Zach Edey, a lot of people really just know him because he's a really tall, like, he's like what,
Mm.
7'4"? Like,
He's 7'6".
oh my.
Yeah, and he's gonna be the National Player of the Year 2 years in a row, and I don't think he has a single fan outside of Purdue. I don't think anybody likes the guy.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's probably not even because of him as a person. It's just because when you see a dude who's tall, just being tall, people are just quick to be like, I don't care, bro. Like,
Yeah,
it's the difference between like Wemby, right? Like with Wemby, I mean, I know y'all saw him take that dude off the dribble and do a step back three.
it's ridiculous.
Exactly,
It's
right?
ridiculous.
When you see Wemby do that, it's like, oh, like you're cooking. But when you see just, I'm 7'6", I'm gonna go ahead and drop this in the basket, then it's like, it's not as fun. So
Mhm.
I like that take. That's a
Thank
great
you.
shout out to all the women hoopers
Yeah,
out there,
exactly. I want
bro.
to show some love to the woman hoopers, and that's really what inspired this idea for me.
Uh, yeah, that's a great take.
Now you go
Okay.
next, Everton.
I think this is definitely my hottest take. I feel like my other ones aren't crazy, crazy, but I think this is definitely my hottest one. And I felt this way for a while. And people are gonna feel a certain way about it.
Okay.
The 2016 NBA Finals are slightly overrated.
Ooh, talk
So,
to him, Everton.
so let me explain. Right, Game 7, cinema, peak cinema. That is maybe that's one of the best games ever. Right,
Mhm.
that Game 7. I vividly remember watching that. I remember sitting on my couch. You know, my little sister was probably like 2 or 3 at the time.
Mhm.
She's over there sleeping in the room, and I'm watching these two teams go like 5 minutes without scoring. But the way I'm on the edge of my seat, like, who's gonna score? Who's gonna score? Because it felt like whoever scores next wins the game. Then out of nowhere, Warriors get this fast break. This man LeBron just blast Iggy, and I try not to scream because she's sleeping, but I'm like, I'm like sitting there like this, and then Kyrie tween three, bro. I couldn't hold it. I'd scream. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
like that game, one of the best games I've ever watched, if not the. But if you look at the other games, now some of these games, if you didn't watch them, you wouldn't know. But a lot of the other games are literally blowouts, right? Like game 1, Warriors win 104-89. Right? Game 2, Warriors win 110-77.
Oh, golly.
Like, come on. Game 3, 120. The Cavs beat the Warriors 120-90. Game 4 was a closer game, 108-97. And I said closer, and they still won by 11, right?
Yeah.
Game 5, Cavs win 112-97. Game 6, Cavs win 115-101. Like, legit, every game was more than double figures. I mean, was more than single figures
Mhm.
outside of game 7. So that's not me trying to find the bad in one of the best, series ever. Like, it was that game 7, again, everything about that finals, game 7 was perfect. The comeback was amazing. Like, the greatest comeback maybe in sports, right? But to people who say like it's the greatest finals ever, I have to always be like, well, if y'all didn't watch the first 6 games clearly because they were literally just blowing each other out. Pause. They were blowing each other out every other game. Or every game. So that's my hot take. This is the reason why it's a hot take.
Mhm.
So don't come at me for that. It's a hot take for a reason. And that's also why I said slightly. I didn't say it's just flat out overrated because that would make it seem like it just wasn't a good finals. But slightly overrated, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like my comparison, like for the how one game could just make a whole series seem magical is like when someone has like the worst game ever, but then they hit like the game-winning shots, like, oh, they were fantastic last night. It's just take that one play to like overdo the previous 47 minutes. And that's what that game 7 did. Also, you're fighting the 2016 tax. We talked about it last year. 2016 was just the best year ever. So that's just a tax you can't get over. So
Yeah,
sorry,
that's true.
Everton. You should be right, but it's just the aura of 2016 is gonna overtake it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm not mad at it. 2016 has the greatest aura a year could probably have. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
lie, but I think that's true. That's probably what it is. Like everybody's so clouded by that everything being perfect in 2016 that they're like that finals had to because, like I said, outside of those games being blowouts, everything about that finals was like
Yeah.
better than most finals already. And that
And
game
no,
7 just made it different.
yeah, it's like when the script writers are like working on the outline for their movie, and like the whole outline was fantastic. Oh, we're gonna have a 3-1 comeback, two of the greatest teams we've ever seen, LeBron and Curry. But then like you watch like the actual movie, it's like, oh man, this first hour and a half's boring. Like I'm not
Mhm.
enjoying the movie. But
Yeah.
then when you get the climax at the end, it's like, oh, this was peak cinema when it's like
Peak.
it was one game.
Yeah, it like I said, it had great elements. You're talking about a team that was 73-9, who just came back from, a 3-1 lead against this one team. Um, and then you have LeBron, who's kind of just storming through the East. Then, they match up against each other. This is the run back year since 2015. Injuries happen and the Cavs can be fully healthy and still took the worst of 6 games. And then you have the 3-1 down, and no one's ever done this. That iconic picture of LeBron with the headphones in, like that picture is so iconic. And then everything about that finals, bro. And look, Katie's one of my favorite players, and I'll end it off here. The was one of my favorite players. He ruined that trilogy, bro. He ruined it, bro.
No, that's real. You ruined it, bro.
He ruined it, bro. You're just ruining it.
I love that meme. But I'm gonna transition into my second hot take, and for my Anthony Edwards meat riders for his aura, I'm gonna piss you off here. The Timberwolves are first round exits. I spent a week
Woo!
thinking about since our playoff predictions, and I'm just looking at how deep the West is. They could play anybody. That's the Suns, the Pelicans, the Mavericks, the Kings, the Lakers, lol, and the Warriors. The Warriors, we crapped on them. They're 10-2 in their last 12, and they just look completely rejuvenated. The Lakers, they'll beat. The Kings are gonna give them a fight. And if the Mavericks slip to 8, that might be like a 5-game series for the Mavericks. Like that could get ugly. The Pelicans are underrated. I crap on them a lot. And the Suns have 3 stars that can get you a bucket. And people, I know this gets said like every season, oh, the West is elite. It's an unreal conference. The West has never been this good. That might be another hot take when you look at like the Warriors and like Rockets time from don't have the year memorized on top of my head. But this
Mhm.
Western Conference is so freaking deep. And the Timberwolves, fantastic defensively. And the playoffs, the game slows down. But if Anthony Edwards has one rough night and Karl Anthony Towns, we know how inconsistent he can be in the playoffs. This Timberwolves team's bound for some trouble. I don't think they have enough people that can get the ball in the back in the bottom of the net. And I think with how deep the West is, I think we have a surprise coming in on our hands.
Well, I mean, they've been kind of like the team people have been waiting to see if they're frauds or not. So honestly, I'm not even mad at that take. I think it's all about who they play. I think the
Mhm.
only thing that really determines that is who they actually get in the first round. If they get a matchup like the Mavericks, I'm not gonna lie, it might be a little tough. And a lot of those teams that are below them, in terms of like the lower tier playoff teams, they ain't no joke. Like the Warriors, that is no joke of a matchup for them. The Suns, the Kings, even the Lakers. Look, the Lakers still have LeBron and AD. I'm gonna
Yeah.
still, give them some sort of love there.
Mhm.
So honestly, there's a good chance they could play any one of those teams, and I just don't think it's a guaranteed win.
Yeah,
But
no
they're a good
chance.
team. Can't hate.
Yeah, like it's just crazy to think that the one seed, no matter what opponents are gonna get, it's gonna be a tough slating. And like the Bucks team from last year was better than this current Timberwolves team, and they still got knocked out in the first round by the Miami Heat. Like these
Exactly.
Western teams in the bottom half or the bottom half of the playoffs, excuse me, they're gritty, and I think the Timberwolves are in for a fight. Like this isn't gonna be no easy sweep. Like if the Celtics are to get like the Magic or something like that,
Yeah.
like. So the West is so fun, but I'm worried for the Timberwolves. And if Anthony Edwards goes out round one, all of his marketing the NBA has put into him is just going out the window.
Yo, round one exit Ant would be so crazy. They would be falling to their knees if that happened, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Adam
Oh my
Silver, first time
goodness.
Adam Silver's pockets will ever have hurt in the longest time.
I'm saying, bro, because they trying to make that guy the superstar face of the
Mm.
league.
Yeah,
Crazy.
and Minnesota might completely blow it up if they go out round one. Like
You think so?
Cat or Gobert's gone. Like there's no way they run it back.
I feel like Cat would be more likely to get traded than
I agree just
Gobert.
because of Gobert's contract, but
Yeah,
yeah, so bad things might be brewing in Minnesota.
could be. Hey, this is a very important season for them.
Mhm.
Okay, so my next take, the thing is, right? This really shouldn't be a hot take, but some people are very I don't want to even say recency bias. Okay, I'm gonna just say the take and you tell me.
Yeah.
2013 LeBron is clearly better than 2018 LeBron.
Yeah. Yeah. I do agree on that hot take.
I don't get like why the thing is it really shouldn't be a hot take, right?
No.
Like, okay, I watched both LeBrons. Damn, I might have just showed my age, but it's okay. I watched both LeBrons. 2013 LeBron, first off, the aura,
Unreal.
unreal aura, like
Yeah.
legit. And we're talking about a dude who on offense, that's when he shot 40% from three. Now, I
Yeah.
don't know, the volume probably not there as much. LeBron shooting 40% from three with peak athleticism, passing ability, and
Uh,
defense,
Dude,
like
literally do it all.
the most all-around player there might have ever been in the league at one
Mm.
point. Like it shouldn't because he was a runner-up in DPOY. Some people
Yeah.
think he got robbed. The numbers might say differently, to be honest.
Mm.
But again, a guy who legit could have won the award while still basically being the best offensive player in the league. I don't get why. I look. Another thing with 2018 LeBron, I've said this before in past videos with in regards to him. His regular season was like a LeBron regular season. He carried, got his 27, 8, and 8, right?
Yeah.
Playoffs, I'm not gonna lie. Cavs 2018 Bron in the playoffs was amazing.
Yes.
Easily one of the best playoff runs I've ever seen. But that's what people get clouded by, which obviously
Hmm.
playoffs matters more, but to just act like that is why he's better than 2013 LeBron when defensively clears him, that's like honestly not even a conversation. Offensively, it's more of a conversation only because I feel like 2018 LeBron is actually a better passer than 2013 LeBron, but that could be because of usage rate. A lot of things come into play here.
Mm.
But I think the biggest thing that separates him is defense. And people might see 2018 LeBron get a little chase down block. Bro, LeBron had a badge in 2K called the LeBron chase down artist. I want you to
Yeah.
put that into perspective. Like,
Uh-huh.
I got to understand the aura heat LeBron had, bro. Like, I'm always going to go 2013 LeBron. Some people are going to say 2018, but I'm always go 2013.
Yeah, it's just when LeBron like had his like Heat emergence, like Heat. This might be another hot take to bounce off it, but I always thought Heat LeBron was cooler than Cleveland LeBron. Like it was cool seeing him finish the story, but that you know how much I hated LeBron growing up as a Bulls fan, seeing what he was doing in Miami, man, ruined my life. But yeah, it's just that LeBron was different, and I that's a take I do agree with. It's hot, but I agree. I
Thank you.
think like the playoffs are more important, but you cannot throw out 82 games. That's ridiculous to do. Not like that
Exactly.
LeBron was even bad in the playoffs of some sort. Like, let's be serious.
Exactly. The heck.
Yeah. But I'm gonna transition into some defensive player of the year talk.
Okay.
Victor Wembanyama is clearly the defensive player of the year. It's not Rudy Gobert. I think the
Ooh.
Timberwolves are a better defensive team than the Spurs. Obviously, the Spurs have cones on defense outside of Wembanyama. Gobert's not getting 5 steals, 5 blocks a game. There's never a world where that's happening. He's not getting 10 blocks a game like Wembanyama is doing. And I sentence I never thought I'd say, not for Wembanyama, it's obvious for him, but more players are afraid to attack someone else than they are to attack Rudy Gobert in the paint. Like teams will have to redo their plan to avoid Victor Wembanyama while more players are willing to go at Rudy Gobert. And I think it's a little unfair for Wembanyama to be like, oh, the Timberwolves are better defensively number wise. What do you want him to do about Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell on the defensive side of the ball? That's not fair. What are we talking about? It's not the defensive team of the year award. It's the defensive player of the year award. And it's clearly Victor Wembanyama. He's going to get like 2 or 3 more 5-and-5s this season. Like he's just one of a kind. And it's time to give him the flowers now. Like there's no need to delay this.
Well, the only thing is, one, they don't give rookies nothing, bro. Like
No.
they say you could be amazing as a rookie. But yeah, you got rookie of the year. That's all you needed. But bro,
Yeah.
like I could have low-key been the best player in the league, and you're just
Mm,
not gonna give it to me because I'm a rookie.
mm,
And I feel like that's what they're gonna do. Let's just call a spade a spade. That's probably what they're gonna do.
yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie. Like I figured his defense was gonna be good right away, just because dude's 7'4" with like an 8-foot wingspan. So at least I knew he'd come into the league blocking shots. But I'm not gonna lie, bro. Wemby being practically the best defender in the league already is
Uh-huh.
kind of crazy, especially when you consider his offensive back. Let me not get
Yeah.
into the Wemby stuff, but like I think he might already be the best defensive player in the league, like
Yeah.
because he can move laterally, like
I was
he's
gonna
good
say
with his speed.
he's so quick with that. He's already a better perimeter defender than Gobert is. Like Victor Wembanyama could play defense everywhere. The fact that he's so agile for someone that's 7'4" is just horrifying.
It's so horrifying. The league is so cooked, bro. Like
Yeah.
he's we're talking about a dude who could pretty much, if everything goes right, do everything on the basketball court at 7'4", bro. Like
Mm,
that just does not make sense.
it's not fairly. The only people that are stopping Victor Wembanyama are the San Antonio Spurs. Those are literally the only people that could stop him and just build the worst
Literally.
team around him.
Yeah. I'm not mad at that take. I don't think it'll happen only because you know how much they value team success and the numbers. Like, even if his defensive numbers look better, if his team finishes as a bottom defense, they're just not going to give him the award. Which sucks because realistically, he's probably the best defensive player in the league right now.
Mhm.
But, Rudy, he's going to win it because they got the best defense. His team is winning, and he's the best defender on that team. And he's still one of the best defenders in the league.
Oh,
Like, we get it
absolutely.
twisted.
I wasn't trying to discredit him. It's just
Yeah.
I think Wemby's a better all-around defender.
But I think the NBA is going to still give it to Rudy, which it is still deserving, honestly. It is still
Mhm.
deserving. But yeah, I just definitely think it's still going to Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, I unfortunately do agree, but if I was the NBA, I'm doing it my way, and it's going to Wembanyama.
I'm not mad at it,
Yeah.
trust me.
Now, Everton,
Okay.
give us the final hot take of the segment.
So I had two right here, and I wasn't sure which one I was gonna pick, but I'm gonna go with the latter.
Okay.
G League Ignite, just so because you had a non-NBA one, so I'm gonna go
Yeah,
for
yeah.
kind of like it's kind of still NBA related, but like in a different way.
Uh-huh.
The G League Ignite hasn't really done shit.
Nah.
Like when they introduced it, it sounded so great. Like everything about it was like, yo, like these dudes get to go out of high school, get paid in the G League, get the best experience in the G League, get drafted, make more money,
Mhm.
already being in the NBA system, everything. And early on, it didn't look like too bad. Jalen Green came through that system, Jonathan Kuminga came through that system. But the amount of dudes who one have failed, like Isaiah Todd, I remember him in high school, he was dominant,
Yeah.
still barely being able to get into the league. You remember Kai Soto?
Wow. Barely.
Right?
Barely.
But he was like one of the top high school players, and like I don't remember what nation he was from, but he was like an Asian prodigy.
Yeah.
Nowhere to be found. He's back home, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many dudes who were supposed to be huge off the G League Ignite, and the G League Ignite really hasn't, like, it's gotten some first round picks, obviously. Kuminga, Jalen Green, Scoot,
Mhm.
right? But what I've noticed, and I saw this YouTube video really pointed out to me, so I'm not gonna take the credit, like I just dawned on this. But
Uh-huh.
I watched a YouTube video and this dude was critiquing some of the guys in the G League, like came from the G League Ignite. And the thing is, like, they go into the league and a lot of them still have the same issues that we saw in them when they were high schoolers,
Mhm.
right? Because people were like, "Oh, G League's gonna be better than college, this and that," and the third. But G League Ignite really didn't polish a lot of these dudes. When you look at the guys who came through college, their game gets more polished. When they get to the league, then they obviously they're not perfect, but they still have things. They worked on things. G League Ignite, like they're going in as high schoolers and kind of just leave as high schoolers. It feels like.
Mhm.
So I just feel like the G League tonight really hasn't moved nothing for real. Like they've gotten some guys who have gotten drafted high, but a lot of those guys have struggled so far. Like they've had their ups and their downs, and a lot of potential still. I'm not saying it's over, but the hype that this thing had when it first got announced, it's definitely been a little tough.
And it's a hot take I agree with, but a big thing I think you get from the college experience is you just turn more into a man. Like you learn how to grow as a person. That's not really something you get in the G League. It's just you're expected to be a pro and improve on the things you don't know how to improve on. And like that's something when you're like 17 or 18, you don't really know how to do. You go to college and like you go to your classes and you you kind of start to grow up and become a man. And that's just something you don't really get out of the G League experience. That's why we're seeing some of these high prolific guys not have the success right away. Like Jalen Green's inconsistent. Scoot Henderson's been rough. Took Jonathan Kuminga a second, but he's here now. He's here.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
just something that like the G League's gonna lack on. It's just they take these prolific high schoolers, like, all right, just keep being prolific when yeah, they're very promising, but there's holes they need to address. And that doesn't get addressed in the G League at all.
Yeah. And I think the other thing I found out, now don't quote me, but even the G League Ignite coach, like that was like his first year coaching or some crazy like that. Don't quote, if you want to find out, go search up research.
Yeah.
But the coach was even like a new coach. You can't be having these high schoolers getting coached by a dude who hasn't even had his own coach experience. Like,
Uh-huh.
there's some guys who maybe are assistant coaches for a different team or this and that and the third. Go get a guy with experience who can nurture these young guys, not, hey, bro, you want to coach? All right, bet.
Yeah.
Like, so
It's
I don't
legit an
know.
AAU team for adults.
But look at the guys who got drafted. They've become AAU players, right? No, I'm
Mhm.
joking. But like, I just think that G League Ignite has not lived up to what the hype was.
Mhm. And it's really just a coaching staff change that really needs to be done. And like, let's say Greg Popovich gets done with San Antonio, let him go to the G League for a little bit and teach these guys. And I'm telling you, they go to the NBA and they're gonna be like stars just like that. A coach I really liked, I watched a YouTube video by King of the Fourth Quarter and Everton. You're gonna have to help me out on this one. Who's the
Okay.
shooting coach on the Thunder?
The shooting coach?
Yeah, because
Honestly, I don't know his name.
so I saw some video and he has like a deep history where like he taught like LeBron how to start shooting. He taught like DeJounte Murray how to start shooting, Richard Jefferson, all these 3-point shooters, and not like everybody on the Thunder shooting like over 40%. It's
They
like
do.
you get this guy in the G League and like has like gives like these high schoolers how to develop their shot and everything, and they're already be better out of the like right when they get into the NBA. Like that's
Yeah.
the type of coach you need. Like you can't have 18-year-olds being taught by a first year coach. Like trying to develop players with a developing coach is an idea that has worked 0 out of 0 like a
Yeah.
million times.
Yeah. I think my last point is I think college players and first off, I'll give the G League this, right? The G League Ignite basically forced the NCAA to let NIL become a thing.
Real, yeah.
Right? So I'll give them that. If that was their goal, you achieved it because you forced the NCAA to force these dudes or to help these people get paid. But NCAA just brings a whole new level of hype. One, how much G League games have you watched?
No
Right.
comment. Next question.
Exactly, right? Like I don't watch G League games. If I hear about a guy, I'm gonna go watch his highlights, but I don't watch G League games. And people don't watch them. Whereas college basketball, I'm not gonna say I watch every game, but it's easier to access a college basketball game, right? Already.
Especially when it comes March Madness time.
That's my next point. One, that's two. When it comes to March Madness, you know, I know the G League has like their playoffs and all that, but nobody pays attention to it.
No.
Realistically, nobody pays attention. But March Madness, if I'm a top guy and I play good in March Madness, bro, my draft stock goes up. You know, so
Yeah,
I think
sorry to cut you off. It's not even being a good guy. Like I remember Christian Braun when he was on Kansas, he was gonna maybe be picked in the second round. Maybe he had a good tournament, so he was a late first round pick, and now he's such a crucial part of that Denver Nuggets team. It's just if you start signing in March, the draft stock's gonna rise. Shabazz Napier wasn't gonna be picked, and then he leads UConn to a chip, and suddenly
Yep.
LeBron's like, if you want me to stay, I need Shabazz Napier,
and then he leaves.
Got him.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it's just
goodness.
the March Madness rises player stocks, and that's as big as a moment gets for a player before they get in the NBA. That's literally who decides, like, hey, yeah, you can be a good player in the regular season, but if you can perform in March, then I can trust you when it matters most. And that's just something the G League will never be able to produce. Never.
Think about it like this. Dante DiVincenzo, when he was on Villanova before
Mm.
March Madness, I don't know where he was stocked at, but he probably wasn't stocked too high. They win the national championship, and he had like 30 in that game, already almost a lottery pick.
Mhm.
It's just that simple. Just that simple.
Yeah, that's when stars are born, indeed.
Thank you so much for tuning into this segment of the 5 Out Podcast. I am Joey LeMaster, and me and Everton are so thankful for your guys' support. If you want to keep supporting us, please check out the full podcast on Spotify and follow our TikTok account. Both of those will be in the bio, and make sure to leave a like and stay smooth.